All the years I've been playing Minecraft, I have never faced a mod pack that is as challenging as this one. I was attempting to complete a 100 days in Jurassic World Evolution and found the perfect mod pack for the job. Jurassic World 100 Days by Diamond Speed. It looked like your average 100 days mod pack. Challenging enough, lots of cool mobs, hardcore elements. What more could you want? It even gives you a warning in the mod pack description saying hardcore gameplay. Food, shelter and strategy aren't optional, they're your lifeline. But, of course, I thought to myself, how hard could it be? I booted up my first world and it was the typical Minecraft experience. I started gathering resources and all was fine until suddenly mobs started attacking me in the day. And this is where I learned that quote on the mod pack page wasn't lying. The mobs in the mod pack are relentless. They don't leave you alone once they have you targeted. They will stop at nothing until they've killed you or they've died. It's terrifying. I managed to escape to a small island thinking I was safe, only to be killed by a drowned of all things, a few seconds after getting back into the water. Worlds deleted, so I start over. I attempted to film this video 7 times and now this is the result of that. This video talking about the hardest challenge I've faced in Minecraft so far. Attempt number 2 lasted around 3 minutes. This time it was my own fault. I was curious to harvest a pine cone of all things from the floor and accidentally hit the rhino, leading to my immediate demise. Attempt number 3 was even shorter. Around 1.5 minutes in, I attracted the attention of a curious dinosaur who would not stop chasing me. It chased me for over a minute until it finally caught up and ate me. At this point, I was getting really frustrated because I really wanted this video to work. So, we moved into attempt number 4 and this time it went well. I survived most of the day, I found a bunch of berries, some ore, battled some mobs and even found a nice hill peak where I had already made plans to build an observatory and the main building for what would eventually be my own Jurassic Park. But, alas, the hardcore mobs had other ideas. As I was laying out the shape for my observatory, spiders flew in to stop me. I saw an opening and made a run for it. With only half a heart, I thought of a brilliant idea. I decided to build a quick hole down into the ground and put some dirt on top and wait until morning. But instead, I literally dug my own grave. I didn't know what to do, so like all sane people, I tried again. What was that quote again? Insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. I decided to go again. In my unrelenting pursuit of the perfect 100 days video, I journeyed on, and this run was the first time I had a positive interaction with dinosaurs. I saw these little raptors feasting on the berries in the forest, so I decided to see if I could tame one, and I did. I had my own little dinosaur pet. I thought this was the run. The one I was finally going to complete. My dino friend came along for a fantastic, albeit short-lived journey when I reached the coast of the island I was on and saw an abandoned village across the water. Curious, I zoomed in to inspect further before making the move across when I heard the all-too-familiar hiss of a creeper. By the time I turned around, it was too late. The creeper had exploded and my time in that world was done. I had lost not only my most positive run, but my dino friend as well. Attempt number 6 was it. This was the one that I would survive in. I started by gathering resources, and a lot of them, mainly jungle wood to build a base. I knew this was how I was going to survive. I found a cherry blossom grove and decided that would be home. There was a bear, but it was harmless. I started building, I had plenty of food, and little did I know, the bear knew that too. It walked up like it owned the place, opened my chest and started eating my food. I wasn't going to try and stop it because I valued my life, so instead I watched as it devoured my food and then walked off without a care. That's fine, I said to myself. Carry on building, and so I did. The moon started to rise and I had just finished the structure of the house. Finally, an impenetrable fortress that I would be safe in. It had light, food, warmth, everything I could possibly need to survive the first night. Mobs were fighting outside, but that didn't matter. There were solid walls between me and the mobs, or so I thought. The familiar hiss was back again, but this time on the outside of the wall, and then before I knew it, the moonlight started to pour in, along with spiders that had me on the list. It was too late. I had no chance, and so I fought as hard as I could, but ultimately I succumbed to the creatures that wanted me dead. At this point, I had had enough. I had found the perfect place to live twice now, but I gave it one last attempt. This one, I would take everything I've learned and apply it to give me the best chance of survival. I had a humble start. I found a bunch of hay bales that I would use for early food, resources to get me started, a massive mountain, and what I saw from its peak looked like a utopia. A village situated across a massive ravine that I would have to traverse, but I didn't waste any time. I rushed across, hastily building a bridge, and then I was there, safety at last. A village defended by an iron golem. I went to collect some more resources before night came, and I'm glad I did. I headed back to the house that I had commandeered, and the mobs started flooding in. The creepers once again blowing up my walls, but I had learnt from the last time and quickly patched them up. I built a hole that I could attack the mobs out of, so that I wouldn't take damage. I couldn't sleep because the monsters were nearby, so I kept fighting. I did get scared at one point. A zombie got in and using a fishing rod was pulling me in closer. I didn't know this was possible, so I panicked but managed to hold my own. I killed the last of the mobs, rushed to my bed and managed to sleep. I did it. I survived the first night. After so many attempts and failures, I finally did it. The sun had risen and I thought it was about time to go gather some more resources. Iron was my main goal, and so I ventured into the ravine, pickaxe in hand, and the journey began. There were some drowns that I had to fight off, but they were no bother this time around. Finally, I saw some iron in the distance, at the top of the cave, so I headed over and began to climb up. I saw two creepers sitting on the backs of spiders, but thought I'd be able to fight them off at the top of my tower. I started mining the iron, and then I turned to face the spider creepers. I successfully hit both of them off, killing both creepers. I also thought the spiders had gone with them, dying to the fall damage. I switched to a different item in my hotbar when all of a sudden the spider leaped out from on top of my tower and knocked me off, sending me down to the stone floor beneath me, what would be my final resting place. This was my last attempt. It was my most successful, and I thought I was in for the run I had wanted for the video. I tried and tried, but this mod pack has bested me for now. I will return to it, and I will survive 100 days in that treacherous pad, but for now, it's 1-0. Until next time.